And our senior NBA insider, Adrian Wojnarowski, because it's only been 444-ish hours, but who's counting, since you reported, Woj, that Sean Marks was working with Kevin Durant on a trade out of Brooklyn. And I can't count how many times over the course of this show we've pivoted from the Lakers to Brooklyn. Here we are again. 18 days later, Durant is still in net. Why is that, Woj?
Malika, Brooklyn simply doesn't have a deal out there that's good enough to justify trading Kevin Durant with 4 years left on his contract, really at the apex of his talent. And, they've continued to talk to teams around the league, but simply no one's meeting that threshold. And I think ultimately teams like Miami, Phoenix, who have been motivated to try to find deals for Kevin Durant, they've got to go out into the marketplace and see if they can add teams, add assets and different players potentially who might help meet that threshold with Brooklyn. Obviously, there's limitations, with Miami because of the contract Bam Adebayo has and Ben Simmons. They can't be on the same roster together. That certainly limits, the structure of a transaction. And so, listen, we still have a couple months left in the summer, in the offseason before training camp. But right now, simply, there's not a deal out there for Brooklyn. And, they do have time on their side because, Kevin Durant has those 4 full years left on his contract. It's a different circumstance than, say, San Antonio in 2018 with Kawhi Leonard when he was heading into the last year of his deal.
Right.
He had missed the previous season, and this was hanging over the organization in a different way.
So that's Kevin Durant. Let's get to Donovan Mitchell. What's the latest on Utah's all-star guard here?
Malika, Utah talked with the Knicks early last week, exchanged some ideas of what a potential Donovan Mitchell deal with New York might look like. And I think now Utah's out talking to the rest of the league, seeing what else might be available to them. I do think they'll reconnect with the Knicks at some point in this offseason. But again, Utah, a high threshold for doing a deal for Mitchell. 4 years left also on his contract. You saw what they got for Rudy Gobert. They were patient. They really weren't in a bidding situation necessarily when they got a price that ultimately felt pretty easy to do the deal on. 4 first-round picks, really a 5th pick when you counted Minnesota's 2022 first. Did the deal with the Jazz, with Minnesota, and I think that's going to be the posture here again in Utah. New York doesn't want to just bid against itself, offer up more and more without a sense there's somebody else in the marketplace yet doing that. And so I do think any potential Donovan Mitchell deal is going to take some time.